What's up, deep thinkers? It's Robert from Existence First. And what I want to talk to you about today is the way that we perceive our bodies. And do we perceive them as different from ourselves, or do we identify with our bodies? Okay, this comes out of a story from this morning. I get to work and I guess I didn't sleep well, but even after my coffee, I'm like still sluggish and tired, and I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to Starbucks? Because I don't really want to wait in line with a bunch of uncaffeinated people. It might be grumpy. So that was out of the picture. And then I had an idea. I said, I'm going to have my pre-workout drink, that's saved for the afternoon, but it has a lot of caffeine in it. So I thought, okay, I'll have my pre-workout. As I was drinking that, somebody was asking me what I was drinking, and so I had to explain. I said, look, my body is a tool. It needs to be sharp, the same way that a lumberjack who's using an axe to chop down trees needs his axe to be sharp. I need my body in top shape so that I can perform, get the job done, right? Then that spurred an insight, right? Which is human beings who speak English, we go around saying, I'm tired, I'm this or that. But the lumberjack would never go around saying, I'm dull. He would say, my axe is dull, right? That is his tool. He would say that, he needs to sharpen his tool. So if the human being is tired, are we going to say that if our bodies are tired, are we going to say, my body is tired, or are we going to say, I'm tired? Because if we say, I'm tired, now we're identifying with the body. And that doesn't really fit. I think my philosophy is better described as, we are spirits. Of course, we create ourselves. That's the Existence First philosophy. But if we're going to put our identity in any sort of category, I would put it in a spirit, right? A spirit that's occupying a body. Now, it works together. Now, if we're a spirit, it doesn't really make sense to say that I'm tired. I mean, how would a spirit be tired? What does that mean? Surely it has some sort of meaning, but it's going to be very different than the meaning of a body being tired, right? A body would be tired from lack of sleep, from overexertion, exercise, etc., right? But when you say I'm tired, then it's a very, very confusing language, okay? So I think that this lends itself to some examination, and what we realize from examining this is that the language that we use, without us even knowing it, we just take for granted, oh, this is how we express tiredness. We say, I'm tired, I'm tired. The language that we use actually creates our perception of life and of the world, which is a trip. It took me a while to understand that, but it finally clicked after studying philosophy for a while, that our language actually creates our perception of the world around us. Okay. Now that leads to another question, which is, how about in Mexico, where people speak Spanish? And in Spanish, to say that you're hungry, you say, tengo hambre, or I have hunger, right? So now you're separating. Your language separates you from the hunger. It says this hunger is now a feeling or a quality that you now have. You're no longer identifying it the way as in English when we say, I am hungry. So that's a question. That's a valid question. Do people who speak Spanish perceive the world as differently? Do they perceive their emotions as different? Is it a different feeling when you say, I have sadness versus I am sad? I don't know. This is something to think about, right? But when we speak, we need to be clear up here in our minds what we're saying. That's a big part of speaking, or thinking clearly, which is a tenet of Existence First, right? To think clearly, we need to know when we make I statements, who are we talking about? Who or what are we talking about? Are we talking about body? Are we talking about spirit? What if we went around all day tomorrow? What if you went around tomorrow and every time you were tired, you thought, my body is tired. My body is tired. And you didn't think, I'm tired. I don't know. You could try it and see what happens, okay? And then also we can look at other languages. And how do those languages express feelings and emotions and this or that? Do they use the subject I, or identifying it? Do they say I am, or do they meaning do they use a version of the verb to be, or do they use a different verb like to have? Do they say that I have this feeling, or I am experiencing the feeling? I don't know. Okay, so that's a good lesson for today. Language creates perception. Think deeply, think clearly, and put your existence first.